No. Good evening, everybody. This is the work session meeting of the Mayor and Council, Monday, May 14th, 2018. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in Borough Hall, by email to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same as provided by law of a schedule including the date and time of this meeting. I'd like to remind all members of the public that we have 3 fire exits in our council chambers, 1 on each side of the dais and 1 in the rear. Roll call, please.
Councilman Bartoloni is absent for notice. Councilman Bastide? Here. Councilman Kamigo?
Here.
Councilwoman Davis?
Present.
Councilman Bertia?
Here.
Councilman Papaleo?
Here.
And Mayor Mignard.
Here. We're going to jump to the agenda for your information section. We have Mr. Costa here this evening to speak about 2 of our projects upcoming. One is the 2017 Community Development Block Grant for Street Curb Sidewalk Improvements Phase 3, Oxford Terrace and Rutgers Place. And the other is storm and sanitary sewer replacements on Kinderconnect Road. Mr. Costa?
Okay. Very quickly. We received a grant from Community Development. This would be phase 3, which would be Rutgers Place, from Rutgers Place, basically just off of Kinderconnect Road, up to Boulder. This would be the remaining portion of the curbs that were not done down there. Once we finish this phase, then, Alan, I guess the next step is to send back in to see then they'll start funding the milling and paving of the streets down there once the curb is done.
That's our present.
Or whether they would do sidewalk improvements?
I think she told us she wasn't interested in doing sidewalks. For some reason, she'd rather do the cars, but we can try either way.
Didn't we submit milling and paving already as a project?
Not as part of this.
I was at the meeting, and that's what I presented.
Oh, really? Maybe that would be for...
And on the application?
I gotta be honest with you, I don't, you were at the meeting, Mayor, then I'm sure that's what it was for. And that would be the funding of this year.
For this application,
Next
yes,
site.
this site, yes.
And that's what we put it in for. I don't remember that.
I'd have to go inside and get the application and see.
Well, hopefully they're gonna give us the money.
We will do.
But if you say it's okay to go out to bid, this is ready to go, send it out to bid and construct it. This would be, like I said, the 3rd phase of that project.
Finish the curbs and then we come back and mill.
Well, once we finish the curbs, then go back in, mill and pave
Right.
the streets if we get the money, obviously.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Costa, any of the specifics? And then there'll be special assessments on this one also?
Yes, yes, the special assessments on this one also.
That, the property manager there, she has a special affinity for you now.
That's quite all right. She's receiving quite a benefit from that curbs and sidewalks, which property maintenance was sent down there. She would have the full cost herself.
Second project is...
Do we need a motion on that or not?
Well, this is my question. I'm not sure whether you've given authority to the clerk to go out the bid on this already, but it wouldn't hurt to have a motion to approve it.
A motion to approve the project is ready to go for public bidding.
So moved.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Okay. Next project is River Edge Road. At the south side of River Edge Road where it intersects with Kinderconnect. Storm and sanitary sewer, actually the storm sewer is compromised. Even though it's a county road and it's a county facility, Alan and myself met with the county months ago. The county basically entered into an agreement with River Edge in order to do the plans, bid the job, do the job, and then get reimbursed by the county. So there is an interlocal agreement between the county and ourselves. The plans are complete. I met with the police to go over the traffic patterns that will be required under this, because obviously River Edge Road is very heavily traveled in the morning and in the evening. We came up with detour plans. Those plans are complete. I was actually going to drop them off to the police station this evening, but the police go through that very thoroughly. I think they need to obviously get the Milford involved because it's going to affect them, and possibly we have to set up some signage in the Milford, give some notice to the residents and obviously the commuters at the train station and so forth. Once that takes place and if everybody's on board with it, These will also go to the county, let them give a last look, and then we're ready to go to bid and start construction. The idea is to start construction during the summer, when obviously the schools be out and there'll be less traffic on the roadways. Total project, probably, depending on obviously who gets it, but probably 3 weeks, start to finish. 4 weeks at the worst case, but I don't know, probably 3 weeks.
Same motion. If there are any questions, I'd like to see if there are any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Costa on this project?
I have a set of plans. If anybody in the council wants to look at these, if anybody wants me to email them PDFs, I can certainly do so.
Has the council signed off on a set of plans? Oh, then we will need a...
Yeah, I'm going to leave these here. I'm going to leave all of these here tonight.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Like I said, if any of the council members want them, I don't know, I think you have PDFs. If you want, I'll get you discs, PDFs, or CAD drawings, so everybody has them.
Yes, because we can authorize the board of bid.
The motion authorizes project to go to public bid.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Mr. Lynch is here. Alan, you had something about the garbage collection bid?
Yes, Mayor, if I may, we sent you a memorandum summarizing the meeting that John Lynch and I attended over in New Milford. Please remember that for the last several years, we've done a joint bid on garbage collection with New Milford. Last time around, it worked out very well for us. We received a very competitive bid. We've told New Milford we'll get back to them in June, because what I'd like to know is I'd like guidance from the council as to whether you would like to do another joint bid with New Milford. If there are any other scenarios or alternatives that you want, we would need to discuss those. And John and I will need a significant amount of time in order to create specifications to go out on that bid as well. We have in the past, please remember, we've looked at outside collection versus in-house collection. We've looked at a shared service agreement with Paramus. We've went out to bid and looked at twice-a-week pickup all year long, and an independent bid for the Borough of River Edge itself. So we've looked at a variety of options, but that doesn't mean that we can't continue to look the best we can for the residents and taxpayers of River Edge. This bid is a little bit unusual because the state of New Jersey has a set of specifications that we must follow for a significant part of the bid. There's another section that gives us a little bit more flexibility. But one of the odd areas is that we must advertise for 60 days instead of 10 days. So that requires that you factor that into going out to bid for this type of a service. We would like to anticipate that you'll make your final decisions or have guidance for us no later than July, so that we can work August and September on any specifications. We can work with New Milford in October and November for finalizing any specifications, and that would start the clock on a 60-day bid advertising period for January and December. And by doing it this early, we leave time for a rebid, because it's been our experience that if you go through once and the bids aren't perfect or they're not where you want them to be, you need time, given another 60 days, to put another bid out there to make your award. What we also found, and John can speak to this, is that once the award is made, both Public Works departments need time to train the new collecting agent. So there are various procedures that have to be followed, the streets have to be learned. So there is a training period between the borough and the contractor to make sure that we have a seamless transition and a good continuation of service. So, Mayor, we will schedule this again for the 29th to hear the council's wants and desires on this particular area, and that would allow us then to get back to New Milford and let them know, yes, we're interested in another joint bid, or we have something else in mind. And John, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
I have one question, John. Maybe before that, you can give us how much we've been paying for recycling in terms of
Our pickup,
yeah,
man hours.
man hours and what each commodity is selling for, or what we're paying to get stuff taken away.
Okay,
That would be helpful.
I'll provide that.
want to talk about the bid, the stormwater pollution plan? That's something, John?
Yes, John would like to hear that also. Thank you, Mayor. Every year, John, myself, and Lisa Hessman fill out an annual report for stormwater regulations. This is a mandate by the Environmental Protection Agency. And one of the questions is, are you looking at your stormwater pollution plan, and have you updated it? And in the years past, I've always taken a look at it, and I've certainly changed names of land use board representatives or environmental commission members and things of that nature. Well, last year, John and I worked on what's called an oil spill plan, which was adopted by the mayor and council in May of 2017, and it basically describes a lot of steps and procedures if we were to have a spill here in town. And John has fully equipped a vehicle with the proper hazmat materials and equipment. So this plan, which looks at our resources, the risk, response strategy, employee responsibility, detailed activities, notifications, lists of equipment, supplies, personnel, training, emergency contracts, and other listing of outside vendors that could be contacted in case of a spill. I would like to just update our pollution plan and make this part of it so that it's memorialized, for those that come after us, and we'll have access to it. So if there are no objections to that, I'll have a resolution before you at the next meeting, Mayor.
Any questions on that? So we'll circulate it out, and you can circulate it to everybody else.
Okay, we'll get that out. The other thing I did want to mention is that please remember, you are mandated to take this new land use stormwater training. The land use board will be hosting this training next door on the 16th at 6:30 p.m. So we hope that you can all attend. There'll be a sign-in sheet. It lasts about 40 minutes. It is mandatory training for both the board and the mayor and council.
There's no online version of
You
it?
can.
There is an online version if you missed this one, but this will be very easy,
Yeah,
if
it's
you
better when
make
everybody
it.
is, but you can do it online.
So we'll see what we accomplish on the 16th, and we'll try and follow up there.
The LoSAP issue, discussion, or?
We could do that later.
We can finish up for information, because on the tax bill stuff, Councilman Bartoloni had emailed me earlier saying that we can have a draft available for review tomorrow.
Thank you.
And then I guess we have got the list of financial disclosure statements, and who still needs to submit.
Yes, Mayor. We have 59 people who had to submit that financial disclosure. I have 14 who have not. So that, as per our procedure, has been distributed to the mayor and council. We will send out another individual request for them to respond. This is a state law, so we're looking for full compliance and the backing of the mayor and council on this as well. But we'll keep you posted as to our progress on that. Do you want me to take the LoSAP?
Yeah, let's just, we'll look at the consent agenda and move on.
We have a LoSAP plan, which is an incentive plan for our volunteer firefighters and ambulance service. There's a payment that goes into it, and after 5 years of vesting, they can draw on that as a severance payment and an incentive to participate. There have been several instances where some members have wanted to or needed to withdraw their funds after vesting. The IRS basically allows for the withdrawal of funds if there's a financial need, a hardship. The hardship can fall into a variety of different categories, and it's up to the borough to basically be the gatekeeper and make sure that those hardship documentation is in place. The state of New Jersey has a rule that basically says that a withdrawal can occur if the person withdraws just from the LoSAP plan and not necessarily severs employment with the borough. So we have a situation where the state is saying one thing and the IRS is saying another. The application by Lincoln Financial just indicates a severance from employment that the individual has signed off. So in the past, I've approved these, even though the individual has not proven a hardship, but has indicated there's a severance from employment. We also asked the person who's leaving to give us a letter of resignation, so we have that in writing. The fire department would like to memorialize this policy of providing withdrawal on a non-hardship basis, and has proposed some procedures for the reinstatement of that individual. So here we have somebody who's withdrawing their funds, but now wants to come back into the plan, and they've proposed some conditions for that to occur. I would like to, we've created a draft ordinance, so I'd like to circulate that among the council, see if you have any questions. The borough attorney can take a look at it, and we can discuss it further, Mayor. So I just wanted the mayor and council to be informed about this, so we could start the process of looking at an ordinance on this matter.
Any other questions? We have two items on our work session consent agenda. One is a resolution authorizing our tactical attorney, Alex Spinello, to enter into a settlement with Ermac Holdings for property located at 876 Kinder Kamak Road for the tax years 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a potential refund in the amount of $16,988.89. We also have a resolution to approve to waive the police outside duty fee for Joseph Baglieri, 142 Manning, for sewer repair project in the amount of $678.80. I believe that was a private project, and we're just taking administrative costs out and just to pay the actual direct salary rate for that.
There's precedent for that, too.
Yes. So, anybody has a question or someone need a motion to adopt these on consent?
Okay.
Your second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Want to do your proclamations, Mayor?
Yes. Mr. Maggio. Mr. Maggio.
Go sit back.
There are a lot of people waiting. That one.
You can leave it. Come back.
We'll do that one too. We'll do, we're going to skip ahead in some of our agenda. We're going to issue 3 proclamations, one for the National Poppy Day Sale, one for National Public Works Week, and one for Emergency Medical Services Week. So, Mr. Majority, would you like to stand, come up and join me? I'd like to have you back, because you know we get back every day for this proclamation. We have a proclamation that reads, whereas the annual poppy sale by the American Legion and Veterans of Foreign Wars has been officially recognized and endorsed by government leaders. And whereas the poppies are assembled by disabled veterans, and the proceeds of this worthy fundraising campaign are used exclusively for the benefit of disabled and needy veterans and the widows and orphans of deceased veterans. Now therefore, I, as the mayor of the Borough of River Edge, do hereby urge the citizens of this community to recognize the merits of this cause by contributing generously to its support to the purchase of poppies from May 1st to May 31st, 2018, the designated annual poppy sale day in the Borough of River Edge, and further urge all citizens to support the American Legion Auxiliary, Sergeant Walter Scott Brown, Unit 226, effective upon one, facility of the authority for that proposed, across the coast number 876 River Edge, by bonding and verifying. So, we appreciate you doing this every year, and maybe the proclamation of this. Thank you. Yes, one of those. Yeah. Okay. You want to tell the council or you want to? Okay. They're going to give Stephanie some information on Memorial Day.
Oh, okay.
Try to look in, except for public works. Scott, you can do it. Yeah, you do it. Oh, you want to talk now or do you want to? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Okay.
The reason I'm here is, everybody knows there's no more Memorial Day today. And we only doing this just to keep it going. There's a few of us. So we're going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to shoot the flag, and we're going to raise the flag. And then we're going to go to George Washington Cemetery. We're going to have a service there. We have a Polish flag, we have bugles, and then we have the street. So when we finish, we come back. We come back to the station, and then we're going to raise the flag, and we'll place flag in. And after that, we make a speech, we do a speech, please do. Everybody wants to come, and everybody wants to finish for Memorial Day. Wants to have many people that each day. They usually have us when we get in. If they give a gift to me, we'll have to go there and stuff and go there and take them away. Sometimes they do. Okay? Okay. And I got just a few changes. Yes, you would get the big gift and stuff. Okay? Very good.
Very good. Okay, good. Thank you. Where the public works services provided in our municipality are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as sewer, streets, drainage, public buildings, recycling, leaf collection, and snow plowing. And whereas the health and safety of the community greatly depends on these facilities and services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is largely dependent on the efforts and skills of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated professional staff of our public works department is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now therefore be it resolved that I, as mayor of River Edge, do hereby proclaim the week of May 20th through May 26, 2018 as National Public Works Week in the borough of River Edge, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations
to acquaint themselves with the issue involving and providing our public works, and to recognize the contributions that public works officials make every day for our health, safety, comfort, and cause. Please accept this applause. Say that out of all the emails I get, the positive ones I get are always the public works. Very, very infrequent people have any negative to say. You all know you do a fantastic job for snow season, and the rest of the towns know how well all the hidden assets that will be seen cares about, like our storm drains, sanitary sewers, and all those things that we need to make sure that the town is operating well and is honestly maintained the roads. So, thank you, and you made an excellent job. And then we have emergency medical services. Go on, come on. You want that? Okay. There's a proclamation that reads, whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those who need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and where the emergency medical services system consists of emergency physicians, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, and others. And where the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Medical Emergency Services Week, now therefore I, as the mayor of Pearl River Edge, do hereby proclaim May 20th to 26th, 2018, as Emergency Medical Services Week in the Pearl River Edge, in recognition of all those engaged in emergency medical service activities, and encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Congratulations to all of you. Everybody on the council, on more than one occasion, has given personal anecdotes and anecdotes related to us about the quality, professionalism, and the vital service all of you perform for us every day. And people get tired of hearing me say it, but I've used your services several times in the middle of the night, and believe me, when you don't feel well at 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing that somebody's there from town 5 minutes after you call, you can't pay for that kind of peace of mind. So we appreciate what you do. You do an excellent job, and I know that I speak to the council when I say that we can't offer you enough accolades, but we're always here to support you, and thank you so much. And Councilman Davis reminds, as we always say, we're the only fully still volunteer ambulance service. So, just the top. Exactly.
That's going to be good.
Mayor, in the county or in the state?
Pardon?
You're the only volunteer in the county or the state?
No, county. In our area.
Oh, in our area.
That's totally volunteer.
That's awesome.
We're very lucky. Very lucky.
Get back to our work session.
Sorry?
You know, the chief will do it.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna wait for the
Verizon,
application.
Verizon for the orange.
Well, with the discussion item for, in our work session, for discussion upgrade and enhancement of Verizon wireless network by deploying small network nodes in the public right-of-way. Alan,
Yeah,
you
we
understand?
we received this request from Verizon, it went to the borough attorney.
Thank you.
I believe issued a legal opinion. I'd like to ask him to
Sure.
just comment on it.
We received an application back in December of 2016. However, Stephanie did not have it on file, and I also did not receive it. I did go back and there was a follow-up email to me in 2017. It went to my AOL account, which I hardly check, and it actually went into my junk mail in AOL, so it was never going to be looked at. Eventually, Verizon's attorney just reached out to me as a courtesy and said, what's going on with our application? We'd like to get moving on it. I said, what application? And then he resent it, and he said, let's get it on right away. And what they're looking basically to do is they're looking, just as their application indicates, to deploy small network nodes in the public right away. They need your approval to do that. However, I always never like to say to a client, there's nothing you can do about it, but unfortunately in a situation like this, there's really nothing you can do about it. It enhances coverage for your residents, it enhances the 911 network, and under the federal law, it's something that they're permitted to do. They've provided you with pictures of what they would look like and what they're planning on doing. And if they meet your approval, there's a resolution, I believe, that we prepared that's on for tonight.
Any questions for Mr. Sarlo or Alan on this? Item 2, Orange Ribbons on Borough Property Support Gun Violence Awareness. Evelyn?
I was, the local Moms Demand Action chapter reached out to see whether we would be okay with permitting orange ribbons on Borough Hall and the library properties beginning June 1st in recognition of gun violence awareness.
Any objection to that from anybody? No?
I'll let them know. Thank you.
Very good. Our score lease with Temple Avodat Shalom. Councilman Davis, you have some feedback
Yeah,
regarding this?
I actually met with the Mars, and they asked if in the new lease, and I did speak to Alan about this, that we could have it be from 10 to 4. What happened is it was from 9 to 4, and then the Temple cut back and made it be 9 to 3, and the Temple cut back and made it be 10 to 3. So they lost an hour. They want to have it be 10 to 4 now. So it's really the same hour, but they're going to add it on, the back end. They did speak to the bus driver, and he said that they have no problem in doing the 10 to 4.
And if I may, so we have an option for 2019. I would recommend that maybe Contracts Committee reach out to the Temple, see if that change could be made, and then, we'd like to know when to list this for your direction as to 2019, whether you'll take that option or not for an additional year.
Okay, so we'll refer to contracts, we'll make that request to the Temple, and I think we'll wind up doing at least an extension through 2019 because I don't believe we'll have this community center online in time for the end of 2019, or it'll be by the end of 2019.
We'll bring it back to you as soon as we have word from Contracts Committee.
Any other questions, comments on that? I don't have a report this evening. We did presentation, unfinished business, community center, Councilman Bartoloni, and I have to meet Mr. Costa. We're doing the site work costs. I think you saw last week I asked Alan again for probably the 15th time to summarize all the various funding sources we have for this and assemble together. I think, I don't want to be premature, but I think we have all the funding in place. We just got to button up some of the costs and get some other fine details worked out. Then we'll be ready to bring the architect in and do a formal presentation to the council. and then we'll start having some discussions with the public on this, and hopefully, maybe by midsummer, we'll be able to authorize going out to bid on this, and hopefully we'll have an opening by the end of 2019. But it's still progressing. It looks very, very positive, and hopefully at the next meeting we'll be in a more formal position to move this forward. Councilor Bartoloni also reported to me that he identified and is getting a third quote from a vendor regarding the ancillary equipment we need to go on live TV. So maybe at the next meeting we'll be again in a position ready to move forward on that. Speaking of which, Stephanie, last week they told us we'd be ready to go on air on May 7th, and today 14th, and we're not ready. So, and I still see the blank space in the wall. So.
When I last spoke to Mr. Wilson, they're supposed to be here tomorrow.
Well, let me know if they don't. Please. Thank you. Any other unfinished business? Please.
Mayor, I bring to the council some more information about our tree farm. We have approximately 100 trees that are at a state where they need to be planted, and we need to also streamline the tree farm after Michelle Critty, Greg Critty, and myself went to the Paramus Tree Farm and got some really sound advice from their very active and productive tree farm. One of the things we have to correct in our tree farm is we need access by row. Right now we do not have that because of how closely planted the rows are. So with these two things in mind, we had hoped the county would be coming and claiming some of our trees because Shade Tree has determined that they're not the type of trees that should be planted along the curb. And Shade Tree is in support of us planting them throughout the town. So we were looking at Paper Street, maybe planting some along the Paper Street as to fill in a lot of the empty space there. But we now know that Little Ferry has shown some interest, and I just found that out tonight. And Little Ferry might be coming and taking some of the trees. But we also had a discussion, I had a discussion with the mayor and Councilwoman Steed and our BA, Alan Negrian, that we could also, we also have the option of, which I did not think we had, of offering them to our residents like we offer mulch. But we do have to have some sort of fee. And so we're looking at a $5 or $10 fee for residents who would like one of our trees so that we can modernize our farm and get it working a little bit better, our tree farm. So what I'm hoping the council will do is have a quick, brief discussion on this, unless the council wants an extended, and then by resolution we would allow residents to get trees for a fee of $5 or $10, and I've already spoken to our DPW superintendent. That would work for him, and so we can offer some of the trees to our residents, offer some to Little Ferry. If Bergen County still wants trees, we could do that, and we can start correcting some of the innocent mistakes that we made when we first designed the tree farm. And also, it's necessary for us to thin out the farm in order to maintain the good work that our Eagle Scout had done and with our tree farm. So I'm hoping the council, I don't know if you have any questions or comments, and if the council could decide whether they thought a $5 or $10 fee for a tree for a resident would be acceptable. And then maybe we can have a resolution to approve that. Yes, ma'am.
It's not really about the trees for the residents. I heard you say something about not putting trees by the sidewalk or the side.
Yes.
I want to just make sure that when we put trees there, that they're going to have roots going down and not ones that lift up the sidewalk.
So at this time, the Shade Tree Commission, who has the authority and power to make decisions in this area, does not feel that these are appropriate trees for that area. So no, that we're not considering this for the curb.
I think the idea of offering them at a nominal cost to our residents is a very good way to put them to use. I wouldn't support the idea of planting them along the paper street at this point. I think that that's an imposition on the residents and could, as the mayor had said earlier, roots could come up and what have you. Mr. Sarlo just made a recommendation that perhaps we want to let other neighboring towns know that we have these trees, because we may find that there are other neighboring towns that are unaware that this is an option for them in addition to Little Ferry. So I don't know whether that's something the borough administrator can send out to other administrators or how that would work.
We have the Riverside, right?
Through the cooperative, perhaps?
Yeah.
But I would make the motion to support informing the other boroughs or allowing the residents for a nominal fee to
We have to
participate in
set
them.
that fee. What would the council think, $5 or $10?
How many trees are there?
About more than
We
100.
should know,
No.
maybe we should find out how many, do you know how many?
I just texted the
Autobank.
DPW. They're looking for probably about 24.
What kind?
They're red buds.
And how big do they get?
I can't answer that. Not very good.
They're fairly big now, and I think there's one in front of Cherry Hill School. If you look at the front door on the left, you can recognize it. I think that's the same tree.
And why can't they be planted curbside?
That's under the jurisdiction of the Shade Tree
No, I
Commission.
understand that they don't want it, and I'm not debating that, I'm just wondering what the reasoning is.
They feel that they're not fit for that sort of placement.
Well, I don't know if it may have something to do with the root
With the
system. It
roots,
might
the
have something to
roots
do
go
with their
sidewalk,
tolerance.
Sidewalk, and then the residents have to pay to get the sidewalk fixed to get a CO.
Some are more stronger against, road salt and things like that too, and things. But we can get the actual details from them through Councilman Papalayo. So we have a motion to,
You just need to
Is
set
this
it
gonna
at
be
5
all
or
one
10.
motion?
yeah, we'll make
Well, mulch is $25. Is mulch
But that's, we're
$25?
moving it. John, what do you think?
What do you think for the tree? To move it and,
We gotta dig it out.
Yeah, so it'll give them more involved, $25?
Would they have to deliver it if it's
Yes.
going to another?
no, not
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
If we
don't
go
put
out
theirs
to
up. No,
the
we're talking about
towns
in
first,
town,
we might do better.
But DPW would have to remove the tree from the farm and then bring it to the resident's house, so.
Right,
So
so
it's
maybe we
manpower
should-
and some, fuel costing.
Maybe we should go out to the other towns first.
Well, I think if we have consent from the council, we can certainly go out to the other towns first. Right now, there's not a lot of residents beating down the door, and we have at least 100 trees that we need to move, and at best, Little Ferry is taking 24. And we really have to clear out those 100 this year, because they're at a level of maturity that it will
It's
become more
much
like
less work for the road department to have people come from the towns and pick them up themselves instead of them having to put them up or plant them. So I think we maybe should have this in two separate, do the towns first.
Yeah, I could just offer an opinion. I think DPW should deliver the tree. They have
Even
no
to the other
trucks.
towns?
No, to our residents.
Yes, I'm saying they should,
Okay.
but I'm saying we should go out to the towns first.
I can do that Wednesday. I can survey the cooperative. We have a meeting
Okay,
on
good.
Wednesday. I'll bring it up as part of the agenda. And usually if the towns that are represented there, if there's any interest, they'll speak with me afterwards. So I can report back.
I'm sure, Stephanie could also send an email to local clerks also saying that we have it and to get in touch with John.
I'm not saying that we have to open it to residents immediately, but we're going to be coming into the summer season, so
Right.
we
Well, after
we
you
do
find
have
out
to get
what
it
the
straight.
towns want, then open it up for what's left.
Yes, that's absolutely what we intend on doing.
So $25 for the residents?
John, 25, you think is reasonable? Or,
We bought that in nursery deal, $100 tray.
I second the motion.
any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
any other unfinished business?
Just, Mr. Mayor, if we could just get an update on the crosswalks at 7-Eleven and the one on Wayne?
I don't know about 7-Eleven because the county's supposed to do it, so we'll have to follow with the county. So you're right, they're deficient on that. The Wayne one, sorry? Yes.
Ready to go. You just sent the plans back to the county for,
Okay.
their approval.
So we're just waiting on the county.
Once Jason Allen signs off, it's like taking a final exam, which should be this week. He says they're good, and you go out to bid. But you have to get there.
Would you call Mr. Fenley's office and ask about the crosswalk at 7-Eleven?
I've spoken about something else. I'll send an email, otherwise I'll absolutely forget.
And maybe want to CC Mr. Connolly and Mr. Costanza and all the other ones, so somebody answers.
7-Eleven,
On Kingdom Command.
the one, the northerly 7-Eleven.
Correct. Any other unfinished business? New business? Yes.
Something, I got, the Superintendent Lynch is here. 2 students from the 5th grade at Roosevelt in the Ecology Club, they're doing an eco challenge, and they've written 2 letters. They'd like the borough to consider additional recycling receptacles at the bus stops and in other locations in town. So I was going to hand this to Alan, but if I might give this to Superintendent Lynch to look at, or should I give this to you?
It wasn't clear to me, if I may, Mayor, it wasn't clear to me whether they were talking about the transit bus stops or whether they were talking about any school bus stops.
I believe this first letter, because I know the resident, she lives adjacent to a bus stop, and that's what she's speaking about. The
Transit,
New Jersey
right?
Transit bus stops.
stop,
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll let them know that we've received it, and they'll be receiving a response. Thank you.
Any other new business this evening? Okay, motion to open the public?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? We're open to the public for any comments, questions, and we'll have another opportunity when we get into the public meeting. So if anyone wants to speak now, you're welcome to. Otherwise, like I said, there'll be another opportunity at the end of the public meeting. Seeing no one, a motion to close, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're going to adjourn work session, go into public session, and then go back into closed session for potential litigation. So a motion to adjourn work session, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so work session is... Ready to start again, Mr. Clerk? Good evening, everyone. This is the regular meeting of the Mayor and Council, Monday, May 14, 2018. Can I ask everybody please rise for a moment of silent prayer? Councilman Gautier, please lead us in this flag salute.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in Borough Hall, by email to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same as provided by law of a schedule including the date and time of this meeting. I would like to remind all members of the public, we have 3 fire exits in the council chambers, 1 on each side of the dais and 1 in the rear. Roll call, please.
Councilman Barlow is absent. Councilwoman Christie.
Here.
Councilman Finito.
Here.
Councilwoman Davis.
Present.
Councilman Gautier.
Here.
Councilman Papaleo.
Here.
And Mayor Mignano.
Present. Motion, please, approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council regular meeting of April 23rd, 2018.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I think we're going to issue a proclamation regarding May as Mental Health Month, and then we have a special presentation for Allison Maloney, who's sitting in the second row here. So I'm going to ask, I see Mrs. Ueda and Aline, our public health nurse, maybe you want to accept the proclamation for mental health.
say so, I wish I could. Responsibility to read. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives, and whereas promotion and prevention are effective ways to reduce the burden of mental health conditions, and whereas there's a strong body of research that supports user-friendly tools that all Americans can access to better handle changes and protect their health and well-being, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation, and whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives, and whereas each business, school, government agency, faith-based organization, healthcare provider, and citizen has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Therefore, I, as the mayor of Borough River Edge, do hereby proclaim May 2018 as Mental Health Month in the Borough River Edge. And as the mayor of River Edge, I also call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in River Edge to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services to all people with mental health conditions. And we have Rita and Justina who are on leading on Schedule 3 initiative, or Schedule Committee, and we'll John will come and promote this awareness. And I think we've had some very involved events lately, and I think the next few starting to get out there, I just think, we always look at the people to help assist you in that effort. So, thank you again for Yes, Councilman. About, I guess maybe a year and a half ago, I had worked with our clerk. I wanted to come up with an award that we could give to residents for something that's a little bit more recognition than a proclamation necessarily, or just recognition. And it's for people who really go above and beyond in any capacity. And we call it the You Inspire Award. And with Mental Health Awareness Month, Councilman Steve had recommended somebody worthy of this award. When I know the person personally, when I heard Councilman Steve's background, it was a no-brainer. So we were proud to do this tonight. So I asked Allison Maloney, Marianne Mom, got their brothers, please come up.
Thank the mayor for giving me an opportunity to say a few words about Allison. And I'd like Allison to share as well. But Allison, she is an inspiration. She and her family faced a terrible hardship and have experienced mental health crises in their family. And she took her time of grieving, and she channeled it into good. And she organized a team for the River Edge Run, Team Tommy, to raise funds for Project 375, which is a national mental health nonprofit organization which looks to train people in mental health first aid and raise awareness. And she truly is an inspiration, and she really brought this message to our community, and our community and their friends have embraced it. And I just thought it would be an opportunity to recognize Allison's bravery and courage and her honesty throughout all of this. So we're so happy that you're here tonight and for what you've done. And thanks the mayor for recognizing you.
Thank you, Councilman Maloney, You Inspire, written by myself and Council President of the City Council.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I just want to thank Mayor Mignone and Councilman Stevens. You know, I didn't even know there was such an award, honestly. But I felt as during my pre-process, this was the best way for me to cope with this. And, you know, mental health is something that a lot of people don't like talking about, but it's something that should be discussed because many people have been suffering with this. So it just felt, I personally feel really honored to raise money and to spread the word, and I'm trying to use it.
I'm doing weddings on the weekend. There is the camera, though.
He's gonna charge us extra for this.
Do I get in there? No? Okay, a couple more. Beautiful. Thanks so much.
I just want to say, we're very grateful to our town and our community. During that time, Mayor Mignone really said something that made us feel like we were an embarrassment and that we had a lot of friends standing next to us. So I want to thank the town. Thank you.
And I don't want to upset anybody, but I told the story about Tom. Tom was, Edward was my wife. She came home, she decided when my son Edward at the same age as Kevin, they were in CCD, and my wife decided she was teaching CCD. And she came home and she said, "You have to meet this guy, Tom. He's great, love him, he's a great guy." And sure enough, we met, we came to the Orleans right away, and he was a wonderful guy. And, we're very proud we were able to do this in his memory, so.
I think he's watching down on us. I think he is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You put a sword on it. Yeah, that'll work too.
Okay, we're going to do a proclamation for National Police Week, and then we have another special presentation. So I'm going to ask Chief Curdy to come up for the proclamation. Is it in here, Steph? The accommodation?
No.
Oh, you have Chief?
Lieutenant Walker, Officer Presidor, Officer Ready, and Officer Percy. And we also have our auxiliary, so yes, which you guys will come to. Go around. The proclamation that reads, whereas in 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas established by a joint resolution of Congress in 1962, National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. And whereas recent events throughout the nation have unfortunately demonstrated a reckless disregard for the lives and safety of law enforcement officers, for instance, on December 20, 2014, and when PD Officer Liu and Officer Rios executed a point-blank range while sitting in a patrol vehicle in Brooklyn. And whereas it is incumbent upon public officials and the law-abiding public to proactively support our law enforcement officers who regularly face threats of violence and danger and continue to put their lives in jeopardy to defend others, potentially resulting in injury, disability, or even death, to keep our neighborhood safe, enforce the rule of law, protect our property, and to respond in times of crisis. Now therefore be it resolved that I, as the mayor of the Borough River Edge, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim May 13th to May 19th as National Police Week of the Borough River Edge. Number one priority of this governing body, in my opinion, is our public safety.
and you're the front line of that. So, we know that, your contract affects one of the top departments in the county, if not the state. And we, again, I rarely if ever get anything negative about the police officer. In fact, it's another one of those instances where people proactively send positive, responses, which is always good. It's always easier to complain than to offer praise. So again, thank you guys for everything you do.
And on behalf of the whole department, I can say it truly is our honor to serve, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Let's just get a little, I a little bit more of this, right? Excellent. Wait a second. Excellent.
Thank you.
We have a commendation for exceptional service that we're going to be giving to Officer Preisendorf. And Officer Preisendorf was hired by the River Edge Police Department in November 2014, became a lead certified instructor in June 2015. Officer Preisendorf has a long history of participating in community programs, such as serving as a football coach in the Milford Senior Football League, the basketball coach in the Milford Recreation Department. Officer Preisendorf and 3 other lead instructors teach over 600 fifth and 8th graders at Roosevelt Elementary, Cherry Hill Elementary, and the Riverdale Regional Middle School. Officer Preisendorf is very supportive of the lead program because it provides the bridge needed to establish the necessary relationship between the police department and the students in the community. Officer Preisendorf understands how important it is for the police department to be part of the community, and it's one of the reasons why he chose to become a police officer. He states his experience during his proactive patrol allowed him to make real-world connections with his students in the classroom. In addition to being a lead instructor, Officer Preisendorf served as an officer in the department's patrol division and one of the department's firearms instructors.
And Brenton, it's my pleasure to present you with this commendation for your commitment to the youth of the community, your education against drug abuse, bullying, and violence, which resulted in recognition by LEAD New Jersey as Officer of the Month. You're hereby awarded a commendation for exceptional service. I'm extremely proud of your hard work. It has greatly benefited the community you serve and reflects highly on the River Edge Police Department. Congratulations and thank you.
We're going to go to 2 personnel matters right now. Please have a motion to approve the appointment of Benito Asuncion to the Police Auxiliary effective May 15th, 2018.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? A motion to approve the appointment of Dan Kim to the Police Auxiliary effective May 15th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Asuncion and Mr. Kim, you are here this evening, correct? We will swear you in. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hold the Bible, please? Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, repeat after me, please. I I, Dan Kim, do solemnly swear
I, Dan Kim, solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
and that I will bear
true faith
true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties as a member
all the duties as a member
of the River Edge Police Auxiliary
as the River Edge Police Auxiliary
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Okay, now please repeat after me. I, Benito Asuncion,
I, Benito Asuncion,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of the
Constitution
United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
that I will bear
true faith
true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in the state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly
that
swear
I will faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as a member of
as a member of
the River Edge Police Auxiliary
the River Edge Police Auxiliary
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And, we have to sign the oaths and then bring those. Public fanfare tonight. Okay. I have a motion to open to the public for comments on the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is anybody here to make any, or have any questions or comments regarding an agenda item? Seeing no one, motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All, any opposed? Other appointment of personnel changes. Motion please to approve the promotion of Eric Phillips, tree trimmer, in the Department of Public Works from a tree trimmer 2, step 4 salary of $57,184 to an annual tree trimmer 2, step 15 salary of $61,609 effective May 15, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the hire of Michael W. DeSanctis as a seasonal part-time park attendant at an hourly rate of $19.83 effective April 22, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the salary change for Edward Blue, patrol officer, from an annual salary of $64,443 to patrol officer 15th grade, $17,850 effective May 5th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the hire of Alyssa Cohen as Arts and Crafts Director for the summer camp program at a salary of $1,428 effective May 15, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? In the agenda, is listed various pieces of correspondence that are all available through the Borough Clerk's office if anyone is interested. Also on file are monthly reports for the Shade Tree Commission for January, February, March 2018, Historic Commission for March 2018, Beautification Committee, April 18, Library Board, May, Historic Commission, April, and Beautification No Quorum for May 2018. We have just one ordinance on this evening for first reading. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance number 18-11 by title.
1811 is an ordinance appropriating $20,624 from the general capital fund balance and supplemental funding for the undertaking of various improvements to the River Edge Senior Community Center.
And is allocating money.
Reallocating some available funds to the community center.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Bastidt?
Yes.
Councilman Domingo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier?
Yes.
And Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
And there will be a public hearing at a later meeting.
We have resolutions number 18-162 through 18-178 for consent. If any member of council wishes to pull out any of these for individual discussion or vote, please say so. If not, I would like a motion to approve by consent.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Who's ranking on the finance committee this evening? Councilman, will Councilman Davis please move and read and move resolution 18-179, payment of the bills?
Whereas vouchers for the payment of goods and services rendered to the Borough of River Edge have been received, and whereas each bill has been checked by the receiving department, approved by the Chief Financial Officer and Borough Clerk, and reviewed by the 3 members of the Finance Committee. Now therefore be it resolved that bills as listed now be confirmed for payment from the appropriate funds as follows. Current account, $8,611,586.71. Capital account, $85,562.52. Recreation account, $5,555.85. Animal welfare account, $18.60. Open space account, $645. Trust total account, $220. And trust other developers account, $3,987.50. Be it further resolved that claims read and approved by the governing body at a council meeting will be dated the day after the reading of those claims and will appear on the following bill list at the next public meeting of the mayor and council, at which time claims would be paid.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to again open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Open again for the last time, if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns. Seeing no one, motion to close, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council comments. Councilor Candido.
Congratulations to everybody who received proclamations tonight, to Officer Preisendorf for his work on behalf of our community and our children. That's it for time. Thank you.
Councilman Davis.
I ditto the congratulations to everybody that got their awards tonight and to Officer Preisendorf. Job well done. As far as the fire department and the ambulance corps, they responded to a car into a building in the north end of town. They took one person to the hospital. Turned out what could have been a terrible disaster turned out relatively good. This past week, I think it was Monday maybe, the fire department took Girl Scouts on a tour of the firehouse, and they just finished the tour. Girl Scouts left, one of the firemen left, and one was still in the building, and the gasket on the top of the water heater blew, and within minutes the whole bottom floor was filled with water. So thank God they were there, or else nobody would have been there unless they had a fire until this past Sunday. We came over and spoke to Alan. He came over, we brought the insurance reports to Jeff, and within a half hour they had an electric company there to, fix the issues and get everything up and running again. As far as the farmers market, we went out asking for permission from the middle school and the grammar schools to hang signs on their fences. Riverdale Middle School said we can hang a banner May through July because in August sports organizations need access, so that was great. Dr. Bentova only would allow us to hang one for 2 weeks, so we're not going to do that. Now instead, we would like permission to put a banner, have one made and put it at the V, coming up River Edge Road, where the, political signs go. Thought that would be a good sign, so if we could get permission to do that, I spoke to John and also move the, sign down at the south end of town, so that's moved back from, or on the side of the Welcome to River Edge, and we'll put another one there. And then we'll have the one that's normally at the, market. We have, 9 vendors as of today.
Same as last year's, or anybody new?
It's all right, we had lost a couple, yeah, we have, 2 new. Okay, so do I have permission for that? To put a sign up there? Because we have to have it made, and I don't want to have it made until we get permission.
I don't know if we're able to give permission for that.
Who would allow that?
But we don't, it's not our property. I don't know if it's a formal.
How do the, political
I don't know.
signs go there?
We don't know.
I asked for a permit.
So we have to get a permit? No. Well, the political ones, you go and get a
Yes.
permit from the building
Yeah.
department.
So we can do it the same. We'll find out the process.
Okay. June is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I have right now. Thank you.
Councilmember Stevens?
Thank you. I'd just like to formally welcome our new Director of Recreation and Cultural Affairs, Carolyn Baldanza, who started last week. She's jumped right in, so if you see her around, please welcome her to River Edge. As a result of that explosion at the fire department, it damaged the lightning, it brought down the lightning detection system that is at the different public facilities. So all the leagues were notified of the contingency of how to address if they saw lightning, but we have a rec meeting this week. I'll find out the status of that repair, so we know when that'll get back online. The Environmental Commission hosted the annual Hackensack River Keeper cleanup on Saturday down at KBBG Park. Hackensack River Keeper estimates they collected 2,600 pounds of debris, so that was a very successful cleanup, and we thank the Environmental Commission and the River Keeper for doing that. The Trex challenge of collecting plastic film continues. They're up to almost 100 pounds of plastic film collected at 3 locations. So continue bringing your Target bags and ShopRite bags and Ziploc bags and dry cleaning bags, and let's get it out of the garbage.
So we're going to have one at the farmer's market.
At the farmer's market as well. And congratulations to Officer Preisendorf. The LEAD program, can't say enough about how important the LEAD program is in engaging our youth and building relationships with the police department. So thank you very much to him, and congratulations on his recognition.
Thank you. I also ditto the proclamations and award congratulations, and I'm very glad that Caroline has begun her tenure with us. Shade Tree Commission met on April 19th. They'll meet again in May, but they have not met yet. They continue to, work towards protecting and maintaining our public trees. There was an incident I just want to inform the council. There was a resident whose name I'd like to leave out at this point who illegally removed one of our town trees. And the tree was as estimated value based on the criteria that the shade tree uses, which is based on a state and federal criteria basis of $8,650.79. Stump removal ran about 132. DPW costs have not yet been determined. The Shade Tree Commission had an open hearing on this. And the individual who took down the tree was not present, but his cousin did come. At that time, I removed myself from their deliberations, since any issue may eventually come back to the council of what should be the penalty for removing the tree. And the shade tree I recommended to Shade Tree that they reach out to the VA and the borough attorney for some guidance on how to proceed, because whatever precedent they set will, of course, move forward with decision-making. Beautification met on May 10th. We didn't have a quorum, but beautification will be working at planting in the Borough Hall, and then find permits in the library starting on May 26th here at the Borough Hall at 9 a.m. So if anybody'd like to join, that'd be great. They continue with planting the artificial flowers in the pots along the business district. It's looking good. And nothing really to report with DPW. They're doing a phenomenal job under John's leadership, and we're always grateful for what they're doing. And that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilor Here.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo the congratulations to everyone who received awards tonight, including Officer Krisendorf for his great work with children as a lead instructor, and also Ms. Mahoney for her great work with mental health, among everyone else. I attended on the 1st of May the library board meeting. A couple of things I'd like to bring up. I believe, Mayor, you received an email from the library board. They said they sent you an email.
Recently?
At that meeting, they said they sent you. Okay.
Don't recall seeing. I'll be checking out. I don't recall.
Okay, so I'll ask them to re-forward that to you. One of the things they brought up was they would like to put in a multi-purpose room in one of the corners of the library, and a good majority of the funds could be from the Friends of the Library, and then they could get grants for the rest, but they would need us to commit to the project first, they said. So it seems like a worthwhile project for the community. Due to the multitude of reasons they could need this room and could actually use it for. For example, tutoring. You know, sometimes if they had one room where they could just have tutoring, then it wouldn't disturb other patrons. So I can talk to you more. Also, on the 6th, I attended the second annual Care Fair, which is a wonderful event. Basically spent to provide health, wellness, and support services all in one place, so people can come and get information on all those services all in one place, and that was held at Fairleigh Dickinson University. Thank you.
I think I said enough earlier about all the other issues. One other thing, last Saturday, I believe Steve was there, and I think Councilor Barloni, the American Legion cornerstone was removed and opened, and they did find some preserved documents, as they referred to them. They were not in a condition where they were able to open them at that time. They had a curator there, and I guess their expectation was fulfilled. They believe that's a letter that Walter Scott Brown, who the post was named after, wrote to his mother on Mother's Day in 1918, and that's why they chose to do this on Mother's Day weekend. And Mr. Brown was killed in the Battle of Argonne, I believe, in 1918 also. So, but they look at other documents in this, they don't know if it was a letter or clippings or whatever, but I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the near future. And that'll have worked for the massive downpour, and everybody scrambled. So, but it was, I'm glad that, you know, it turned out the way we had hoped to. All right, we're going to adjourn the regular session, go back into closed session to discuss potential litigation regarding disability rights of New Jersey, accessibility and curb cuts. Motion to adjourn regular session and go back into closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Regular meeting's adjourned. Sorry, gentlemen, we had to keep you so long, but
No problem, Mayor, no troubles whatsoever.
as long as there's nobody else
Go
waiting for
past
you.
11, I need to